Michael and Alana went to Pancakes by the Bay the next morning for breakfast and coffee. Penelope took their order. What's it going to be for you this morning? Hmm. Give me the mountain morning coffee and Bayside griddle cakes. And for you? Give me the mountain morning coffee and Bayside crepes. Sure, I'll have that for you. Have you thought about the murder yet? Yeah. It's trying to understand the motive for it. Yeah, also, there's no physical evidence to directly connect the murder to any person. All we know is that it was committed by a person who was wearing the same hat that people um, have been taking turns wearing. That gives us a pretty good clue, but it's not definite evidence that the person who committed the murder was a person that wore the hat. Yeah, they weren't wearing that hat when we saw them throw the dead body in the van, but we don't know what the circumstances were, um, or where they got the hat. Look, somebody left some kind of pamphlet on the table. What is it? Leilani looks through the pamphlet. It looks like it's some kind of invitation to a pagan ceremony. They're honoring the pagan deity Gorgon. That might be a clue. There are pagan religions that believe that human sacrifice can confer immortality to a person if it was offered up to the gods. I don't believe that myself, but there are crazy people out there. Maybe some of the people who have been coming here are part of a pagan religion that sacrifices human beings to Gorgon. We should try to observe some of these people more closely in the future to see if they seem suspicious. Yeah, do you want to go back to my condominium to practice more dialogue? Sure. Michael and Lana went back to Mike's condominium to practice more dialogue. Here's an excerpt from it. I'm going to get a dialogue book out. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's pick something out of this. Um, hmm. Some of this dialogue that I really enjoy performing. Clerks. Start with Clerks this time. Screenplay by Kevin Smith. Directed by Kevin Smith. Characters Dante, Brian O'Halloran, Randall, Jeff Anderson. Notes. Dante and Randall are good friends, around 20 years old. They work for the same boss in dead-end jobs in a New Jersey town. Dante works at the Quick Stop Deli and takes it far too seriously. And Randall runs a video store next door and doesn't take it seriously at all. Dante has a girlfriend, Veronica, who goes to college and is urging him to do the same. He has an ex-girlfriend, Caitlin, that he obsesses about and has been talking to lately on the phone. She has a boyfriend, but she hasn't told Dante about him yet, and Dante is fantasizing about a reunion. Randall's an easygoing stoner who lives in the moment and has no illusions about where his life is not going. He can be obnoxious and sensitive at the same time. Clerks follows a hapless pair through the course of a very bad day. Dante has already been called into work on his day off and had a fight with Veronica over her past sexual partners. Randall comes over to the deli to visit. Interior convenience store day. Randall pulls a soda from the cooler. Want something to drink? I'm buying. No, thanks. Who was on the phone this morning at about 2:30? I was trying to call for a half an hour. Why? I wanted to use your car. He walks by a row of snacks and grabs one without looking at it. Snack cake. Dante sits at the CPS register. Randall grabs a paper and joins him behind the counter. You don't want to know. You called Caitlin again. She called me. Did you tell Veronica? One fight a day with Veronica is about all I can stomach, thanks. What do you two fight about? I guess it's not really fighting. She just wants me to leave here, go back to school, get some direction. I'll bet the most frequent topic of arguments is Caitlin Bree. You would. I'm going to offer you some advice, my friend. Let the past be the past. Forget Caitlin Bree. You've been with Veronica for how long now? 7 months. Chick's nuts about you. How long did you date Caitlin? 5 years. Chick only made you nuts. She cheated on you how many times? 8.5. 8.5? Party at John K. Senior year. I get blitzed and pass out in his bedroom. Caitlin comes in and dives all over me. That's cheating? In the middle of it, she calls me Brad. She calls you Brad? She called me Brad. That's not cheating. People say crazy shit during sex. I hit the lights and she freaks. Turns out she thought it was Brad Michelson. What do you mean? She was supposed to meet Brad Michelson in a bedroom. She picked the wrong one. She had no idea I was even at the party. Oh my God. Great story, isn't it? That girl was vile to you. Interesting postscript to that story. Do you know who wound up with Brad Michelson in the other dark bedroom? Alan Harris. Chess team Alan Harris? The two moved to Idaho together. After graduation, they raised sheep. That's frightening. It takes different strokes to move the world. In light of this lurid tale, I don't see how you could even romanticize your relationship with Caitlin. She broke your heart and inadvertently drove men to deviant lifestyles. Because there was a lot of good in their relationship. Oh, yeah? I'm serious. Aside from the cheating, we were a great couple. That's what high school is all about. Algebra, bad lunch, and infidelity. You think things would be any different now? They are. When she calls me now, she's a different person. She's frightened and vulnerable. She's about to finish college and enter the real world. It's got to be scary for anyone. Suddenly, oh shit! I've got the place in order. I'm talking to myself here. No, I'm listening. She's leaving college and she's looking to me for support. And I think this is leading our relationship to a new level. What about Veronica? I think the arguments Veronica and I are having are some kind of manifestation of a subconscious desire to break away from her so that I can pursue the possibility of a more meaningful relationship with Caitlin. Caitlin's on the same wavelength? I think it's safe to say yes. Then I think all four of you had better sit down and talk it over. All four? You, Veronica, Caitlin, and Caitlin's fiance. The headline of the engagement The headline of the engagement announcement reads, "Bree to wed Asian design major." Okay. Dante's day goes from bad to worse when he gets the news of Caitlin's engagement. Then Caitlin unexpectedly shows up at the deli where Dante is having trouble coping. She takes the train down from the school to see him. She doesn't know what she wants anymore out of Dante, wants any more than Dante does, but she thinks She's got it all sorted out. In the process, she sends a different mixed message with every line. Interior video store night on counter. You're just gonna lock the store like that? I want to talk to you about something, and I don't want to be disturbed. You saw it. Very dramatic, I thought. It's not what you think. What? It's worse? You're pregnant with an Asian design major's child? Let's go to another script. Let's see what else we got in here. Let's see. Body Heat. Warner Brothers, 1981. Screenplay by Lawrence Kasdan. Directed by Lawrence Kasdan. Characters: Maddie, Kathleen Turner, Racine, William Hurt. No, this scene immediately follows the previous one. Ned is pulled up to the Pinehaven Lounge looking for Maddie. Interior cocktail lounge, Pinehaven night. Dark, almost classy. The place is half full. Maddie is drinking at the end of the bar, her cigarettes next to her glass. The bar chairs near her are empty. Racine comes in, looks around, walks over and sits next to her. The seat next to her. She looks up surprised. Look who's here. Isn't this a coincidence? Racine looks at her, almost as though he can't place her, but he doesn't push the effect hard. He lights a cigarette. I know you. You're the one that doesn't want to talk about the heat. Too bad. I'll tell you about my chimes. What about them? The wind chimes on my porch. They keep ringing, and I go out there expecting a cool breeze. That's what they've always meant. But not this summer. This summer it's just hot air. Do I remind you of hot air? The bartender has come up. Bourbon, any kind, on the rocks. Another? She thinks that nods her agreement. The bartender moves away. What are you doing in Pinehaven? I'm no yokel. I was all the way to Miami once. There are some men, once they get a whiff of it, they like the trail off. Let's see. Let's go to another script. Pulp Fiction. Okay, tell me about the hash bars. What do you want to know? Well, hash is legal there, right? Yeah, it's legal, but it ain't 100% legal. I mean, you can't walk into a restaurant, roll a joint, and start puffing away. You're only supposed to smoke in your home or certain designated places. Those are the hash bars? Yeah, it breaks down like this. It's legal to buy it. It's legal to own it. And if you're the proprietor of a hash bar, it's legal to sell it. It's legal to carry it, which doesn't really matter because get a load of this. If the cops stop you, it's illegal for them to search you. Searching is just a right that the cops in Amsterdam don't have. That did it, man. I'm fucking going. That's all there is to it. You'll dig it the most. But you know what the funniest thing about Europe is? What? It's the little differences. A lot of the same shit we got here, they got there, but they're a little different. Example? Well, in Amsterdam, you can buy a beer in a movie theater. Example? And I don't mean in a paper cup either. They give you a glass of beer. Like in a bar. In Paris, you can buy a beer at McDonald's. Also, you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris? They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese. No, they got the metric system there. They wouldn't know what the fuck a quarter pounder is. What do they call it? Royale with cheese. Royale with cheese. What do they call Big Mac? Big Mac's a Big Mac, but they call it Lay Big Mac. What do they call a Whopper? I don't know. I didn't go to a Burger King, but you know what they put on French fries and Holland instead of ketchup? What? Mayonnaise. God damn. I seen them do it. And I don't mean a little bit on the side of the plate. They fucking drown them in it. Oh, interior Chevy truck morning. The trunk of the Chevy opens. Jules and Vincent reach inside, taking out 45 automatics, loading and cocking them. We should have shotguns for this kind of deal. How many up there? 3 or 4. So there could be 5 guys up there as possible. We should have fucking shotguns. They close the trunk. Exterior apartment building, courtyard morning. Vincent and Jules, their long matching overcoats practically dragging in the ground, walk into the courtyard of what looks like a hacienda-style Hollywood apartment building. We track alongside. What's her name? Mia. How did Marcellus and her meet? I don't know. However people meet people. She ever do anything I would have saw? I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot. What's a pilot? Well, you know, the shows on TV. I don't watch TV. Yeah, but you're aware that there's an invention called television, and on that invention, they show shows? Yeah. Well, the way they pick the shows on TV is they make one show, and that show is called the pilot. And they show the one show to the people who pick the shows. And on the strength of that one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. So some get accepted, and some become TV programs, and some don't become nothing. She started in one of the things that became nothing, the end of the apartment building. Okay, that was enough of that. Okay. So. Michael and Anna thoroughly enjoyed their dialogue performance and talked into the evening. What a beautiful night that is, isn't it, Leilana? It's a night that invites lovers into the warm embrace of the ocean breeze that massages the body and soul of transcendent people. That's what I was thinking. A warm late June evening by the San Francisco Bay with my goddess of love. That's not merely being alive, that's living. Have you thought at all about the murders by Pancakes by the Bay? No, I've just been thinking about what a shame it is that we are confronted by such heinous crimes in this life. Life could be so wonderful if we were to cooperate as human beings. The beauty of romantic love and just the beauty of being alive. I wandered alone through this world at certain times in my life and have experienced unbridled mirth just by being in contact with a higher power that is the harmonizing element of nature. I believe that we were spawned by an immortal fire, and shall return to this immortal fire to repeat the cycle of birth and death. Immortal fire. That's interesting. I believe in a higher power and an immortal fire. A higher power. Awesome. Yeah, a higher power. I've been thinking about the murder. I have a theory. You do? Yeah, here it is. I was thinking that it may be a remote possibility that Penelope did it. Penelope, the waitress? Oh, come on. She wouldn't do it. She's trying to solve the murder by filming a movie about it that gives people clues as to who committed the murder. What if she was only filming the movie to solve the murder case only as a way to cover up for herself, the person who committed the murder? You might be onto something, Leilana. There's a certain amount of plausibility to that. Do you want to go to Pancakes by the Bay for breakfast tomorrow for breakfast and coffee? Sure. The next morning arrives and Mike and Leilana go to Pancakes by the Bay. Penelope takes her order. How can I help you? I'll have the bottom morning coffee and Bayside griddle cakes. What's it going to be for you, Leilana? I'll have the mountain morning coffee and Bayside crepes. Coming right up. How's the film project coming, Penelope? Good. I'm in talks with some Hollywood producers at the moment. Nice talking to you, Penelope. Likewise. Penelope goes to get their food. Does Penelope seem suspicious to you as a murder suspect? Not really. But it came to mind that if she was the murderer, filming a movie about the murder in order to give people clues about it would be a good way to cover herself up. I agree, but that doesn't necessarily give us much evidence that she is the murderer. I agree, but I think it's a remote possibility. Let's see if we can analyze her behavior. Yeah. We could see if she would have any motives for murder. Penelope comes back with a breakfast. Here's your grub and coffee. Thanks, Penelope. She doesn't seem violently angry to me. No, she doesn't. You want to go back to your condominium? Sure. Mike and Leilana went back to Mike's condominium to practice some more dialogue. Mike and Leilana went to Pancakes by the Bay for breakfast and coffee the next morning. Penelope, their favorite waitress, took their order. What's going to be for you this morning, Mike and Leilana? Give me the Bayside griddle cakes and a cup of modern morning coffee. Splendid. What's going to be for you, Leilana? Give me the Bayside griddle cakes and a cup of modern morning coffee. I'll have it for you people. Penelope went to get their food as they talked. Do you see anything in Penelope's behavior that would arouse suspicion? No, she is the murderer. She's hiding it. Here comes Penelope with our food. Here's your pancakes, grilled cakes, and coffee. Enjoy. Thanks, Penelope. Leilana was looking out the window when the same woman in the same Corvette pulls up. She stops and looks into the restaurant, and her eyes glow with an intense luminous light that emits a spectral essence. For a moment, she doesn't seem to have eyeballs in her sockets, but strictly brilliant light emanating from them, from each socket. Penelope looks right back at her with the same type of phosphorescent light being emitted from her eye sockets. Suddenly, the light from both of their eye sockets dissipates, and the eyeballs return. The woman in the Corvette then drives off. What was that, Penelope? What was what? I saw some kind of light being emitted from your eye sockets. And the eye sockets of the woman in the Corvette. My eye sockets? If you were looking at them, all you would have seen were my eyeballs. No, Penelope, we saw light emanating from them. That's bullshit. Would you like some more coffee? Yes, please. I would like some. Penelope goes back to get some more coffee. Do you want to go back to my condominium? Sure. Mike and Leilani went back to my condominium to talk. So you did see the light in Penelope's eye sockets? I sure did. For a moment, there were no eyeballs in her eye sockets, just a light emanating from them. I saw the same light emanating from the eye sockets of the woman in the Corvette. I wonder what that could be. So do I. Also, why did she deny that there was only light emanating from eye sockets and no eyeballs? I don't know. I wonder why the light from her eye sockets seemed to be the same light as the light from the Corvette woman's eye sockets. Interesting. Interesting eye sockets indeed. Would you like to practice more William Shakespeare dialogue? Sure. Mike Leilani practices more William Shakespeare dialogue. He was an extra. See, okay, you have a William Shakespeare book out now. Okay. A Midsummer Night's Dream. Let's see, where is it? A Midsummer Night's Dream. Introduction by Alec Yearling. Of the handful of plays where the material seems to have been essentially of Shakespeare's own invention, A Midsummer Night's Dream is by some way the most sturdily put together. Within a framing situation of the impending nuptials of Theseus and Hippolyta, three actions are juxtaposed, alternating and interconnecting, the story of the four lovers being the most elaborate in terms of the plot, and that of the rehearsing mechanicals the most rudimentary. In both of these, the willfulness of the fairy world intrudes temporarily and transforms the transformation of bottom permanently and continuing enchantment of Demetrius, which allows the lovers' initial ragged ensemble to emerge as symmetrical pairing. The various actions echo each other without falling into too schematic a pattern of parallel or contrast. Theseus and Hippolyta have come through antagonism to mutual love. Oberon, Best, Tidiana. Okay, I'm just going to run to the play. Whatever. Okay. A wood near Athens, enter furry with one door and pocket another. How now, spirit? Whither wander you? Over hill, over dale. Thorough bush, thorough briar, over park, over pale, through flood, through fire. I do wander everywhere, swifter than the moon's sphere. I'm just going to go right to the cow slips in. I'm just going to go to I'm just going to do Romeo and Juliet, my favorite one. Okay. Act 2, Scene 2, Capulet's Orchard, enter Romeo. He just the scars that never felt a wound. Enter Juliet above at a window. But soft! What light through yonder window breaks is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art more fair than she. Be not her maid, so she is envious. Her vessel livery is but sick and green, and none but fools who wear it. It is my lady, cast it off. It is my lady, or is it my love, oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. I am too bold, 'tis not to meet you, she speaks. Two of the brightest stars on all the heaven, having some business there, do entreat her eyes till they twinkle their spheres. Till they return. What if her eyes were there? They in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. But through the air your stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. So she leans her cheek upon that hand. Oh, that were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. I mean, she speaks. So speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious as this night, being over my head as the winged messenger of heaven unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fell back to gaze at him. When he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father use thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be sworn by love and not library Capulet. Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this? 'Tis but thy name is my enemy, thou art thyself not a Montag. What's a Montag? Is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to man. It'll be some other name. What's a name? That which we call a rose by any other name was mild, sweet. So Romeo, we're not Romeo called, retain the term profession which he owes without the title. So Romeo, doff thy name. I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth, I never will be Romeo. What man art thou? Thus be screened in night, so stumblest on my counsel. Thy name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I written it, I would tear the word. My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of thy tongue's uttering, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montag? Neither, fair maid, if either thee is like. How canst thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The ushered walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any my kinsmen find me here. With love's light wings did I overperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out. And with love dares attempt. Therefore, thy kinsmen are no stop to me. If they do see thee, they will murder thee. Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet. And but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting thy love. By whose direction foundst thou out this place? By love that first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me wings, and I lent him counsel. I'm no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea I should adventure for such merchandise. Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek. For that was thou, lady, by yonder blessed moon, I swear that tips with silver all those fruit tree tops. Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon, that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable. Which shall I swear by? Do not swear at all, or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee. If my heart's dear love, well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy in this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which doth cease to be, ere one could say light and sweet good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night, good night. Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied? What satisfaction canst thou have tonight? The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine. I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would have were to give again. Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose? Love? But to be frank, to give it thee again. And yet I have the thing, and yet I wish for the thing that I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. I hear some noise within. Do you love it? Anon, good nurse, sweet Monte, be true. Stay but a little life. Oh, blessed, blessed night. I'm afraid, being a knight, all this is but a dream. Too flattering sweet to be substantial. I'm just going to go to the end of the play now. Okay. Enter Romeo and Balthasar with a torch and a mattock and a crow of iron. Give me the mattock and the rushing iron. Oh, take this letter early in the morning. See thou deliver to my father. Give me the lights. Upon thy life I charge thee. Whatever thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof. And do not interrupt me in my course while I descend unto this bed of death. It's partly to behold my lady's face, but chiefly to take thee hence from her dead finger a precious ring, a ring that I must use in dear employments. Therefore hence be gone. But if thou jealous dost pride, return to pride what thy father shall intend to do. By heaven, I will tear thee joint by joint, and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs. My time and my intents are savage wild, more fierce and more inexorable, far than empty tigers or the roaring sea. I'll be gone, sir, and not trouble ye. So shalt thou show me, friendship. Take thou. Live and be prosperous, and farewell, good. Thou detestable maw, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth, thus I enjoy thy rotten jaws to open. And in despite, I'll cram thee with more food. This letter doth make good the friar's words. Their course of love, the tidings of her death. And here he writes that he did buy poison of a poor apothecary, and therewithal came to this vault to die and lie with Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague? See what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love. And I, for winking at your discords too, have lost a brace of kinsmen, all unpunished. Oh, brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure. For no more can I demand. But I can give thee more, for I will raise her statue in pure gold. That whiles Verona by that name is known, there shall no figure at such rate be set as that of true and faithful Juliet. As rich shall Romeo by his lady's life, poor sacrifices are enmity. A glowing peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned, and some punished. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.